Hey guys, welcome back. Dan Shields here, the Church Guitarist. Good to see you again. Hey, I wanted to take you through a little exercise that's more than just a little exercise, actually. It's sort of a training to help you on acoustic guitar. When you're playing acoustic guitar in general, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know all of your scales. You don't need to know all the jazz chords and stuff like that. But you do need to know the basic chords in your most important keys. And I would say the most important keys are caged, C, A, G, E, and D, and the key of B. And if you know those, you know most of your most important chords in them, like the 1, 4, 5, 6, and so on, you're going to do pretty well. You're going to have most everything that you need to know. And then for anything else, you just capo if you're in a flat key or something like that, So we're going to do some voicings in the key of D. There's a couple different ways you can approach the key of D. So this is just one exercise. You probably need 3 or 4 different iterations of how this works out. Just like in your G voicings, you have a couple of key voicings, but then you might change them up a little bit. Well, this is sort of the change up thing, and this would be better for finger picking than for strumming. So I'm going to walk you through, and one of the things that I like to do on these when I'm showing students is if you just take the key, whatever key that is, and you go backwards through the harmonized scale. So let's say, for instance, you're in the key of C. You have C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, G with a B, we'll say, instead of B diminished, and then back up to C. If you go backwards, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, and then go to the G chord and back to C, you're going to have a really nice pattern. In this case, we're going to be in the key of D, and we're going to do the same thing. So key of D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. So if I go backwards through my chords, I'm going to do D, A with a C sharp, B minor or B minor 7, A, G, D with an F sharp or an F sharp minor. In this case, we're going to do D with an F sharp. Excuse me, E minor, and then back up to the A, and then that'll take us to the D. So let me show you the actual exercise itself. I'm going to do a finger picking pattern. It's not consistent, so just know, and I might not even have played it totally consistent, but I think it'll be close enough for this. But if you do this basic pattern for the beginning, so I'm doing, let me call string names, D, G, E, B, A, B, G, B. That's really hard for me to do. Let me try that again with note names. D, A, E, D, A, D. Okay, so that's going to be, on the beginning, my basic finger picking pattern. And I'm going to start like this. Then with my 4th finger, I'm going to get the C sharp note. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a D chord with the C sharp. So even though it should be A with the C sharp, it's sort of like a D chord with the C sharp, but you'll hear it sounds really nice ringing. Okay, so that's a little bit hard to do, and if you notice my fingering, I've got, just like my regular D chord there, I'm just taking off that middle finger. Then, this is where it gets a little bit weird. I'm going to go with my 2nd finger, and I'm going to get the 2nd fret of the A string, that B note, and it's going to be a B minor 7 chord. Now, in order to do it, watch my hand, especially from the side, if you can see it. Can't see it really well from there, but I aim my hand sort of like this to be able to get that note in. If you watch my 1st finger, how it crosses over. You see that crossover, and then I get this. It's a little bit of like spider fingers, but you'll be able to get it with some practice. And I'm pushing, if you notice, the heel of my hand and my pinky are going way out this way, and that allows me to get that note. And it'll seem awkward to you when you first do it, but after you do it for a little bit, you won't even think about it. All right, so. Incidentally, on my right hand, I'm doing like thumb, thumb, 1st, 2nd. And when I do 4th string roots, that's normally what I do, and sometimes on the 5th string roots. So move that hand. And then I'm going to do an A. since this is an A chord, I'm going to sort of sound this like A chord, but I'm going to start off with this sound. So I'm just doing the notes C, hammer on D, and open A. Then I'm going to go to my G chord, and I'm going to change my finger picking. I'm going to move my 2 fingers over here, and it's going to be like thumb, thumb, 1, 2 for this. And this is a classic Travis picking. So I'm doing thumb first, thumb, 3rd finger. And actually, I am doing a thumb, 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 2, 1, thumb, 1. Then I'm going to do with my thumb the note F sharp. Then for the E minor, I'm going to do open E, and I'm going to move my 1st finger to the E note. It's going to be an A sus. Okay, let me take it that far again. So 3. Oh, I do get 1 extra note on there too. That E note. And I'll do a PDF for this. Chord, 1st fret, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, starting from the A string. So 1, 2, open, 2. And I'm fingering it 1st finger, and then like a little A7 chord with 2nd finger and 3rd finger. So then I'm going to move to this B minor 7. So it's going to be, are my notes B, D, A, and D. So from the G chord. You hear that? Then I'm going to do E minor, D with an F sharp, G, and then A. So like this. So I'm just going straight up. D with an F sharp, G2 I'd call it, and then just straight up, and then C sharp, D to an open E. In order to get that open E, if you notice my 1st finger's really like bent this way. So I can't flatten that out. So I've got to bend that thing for it, and then back to the D. And I do a pull off, and then hammer on. And obviously, you can do some variations on that. You don't have to keep it exactly to that. It's good to practice that and really get it down as a pattern. But once you get it down as a pattern, you'll sort of forget that pattern later. But you'll remember those voicings. Your fingers will be able to move in those directions. And then even if you're doing some different combinations, you know, so typical CCM type of stuff, you'll be able to play really well. So anyhow, I hope that's a good exercise for you. I think it'll really help your hands to get some different voicings that you might not think of otherwise. but they're really great for finger picking in the key of D. So until next time, God bless.